All right, so what we're going to talk about is how we come up with the Big 12. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at Coach Vint, and I put some additional resources down in the description for you. So how this came about, a lot of you guys have seen me speak at clinics and talk about when we game plan, how we use the Big 12 or read my blog posts. I've got some schools that I consult with, and I've had some coaches reach out recently asking about this. And they said, and we got on a Zoom, showed them how we do it. And they said, Coach, you got to put this out because this just demystified the process and made it so simple, and it'll help us be a lot more prepared for our game. So I was an offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, special teams coordinator, was at the high school and college levels. When I first became a defensive coordinator, the biggest mistake that we made was trying to defend everything instead of trying to defend the most important things. And everybody knows, we're going to break down film, we're going to draw cards, we're going to end up with a card for everything they do from every formation. And all of a sudden, the struggle's real. You have 400 cards in the scout book, the binder's breaking, the papers are flying all over in the wind. All right, it's frustrating. We took over defense and gave up 42 points a game. And we ended up struggling a little bit our first couple of scrimmages, and then a little bit early in the season until we came up with this. And then we posted 6 shutouts, gave up just 6.8 points a game, and made a big playoff run. One of the biggest areas was our preparation that led to that. So I'm going to show you how we came up with the Big 12. Most offenses, not all, and I'm going to show you what we do with the others. Most offenses can really be broken down into 8 to 14 total play calls that make up 75 to 90% of their offense. And when I'm talking about a play call, formation, backfield set, motion, play, all that. All right. And you can chart their calls and come up with 8 to 14 of those. They're going to make up 75 to 90% of their offense, roughly. And that's what we started to do. Now, there's no good, easy way to do this within the reporting that's available within the video platforms like Huddle and Quick Cut right now. What we did was we used Excel, and I'm going to show you some Excel magic that I was taught that helped immensely with putting this data together. So the first thing is your data. You need good data. We're going to break down typically 3 games, 5 games in the playoffs. Optimal is 3 to 5. You might only exchange 2, maybe only exchange 1. All right. I think having more than 1 game really helps, but you've got to have good, consistent data. We divide and conquer as a coaching staff. Yeah, it's a pain in the rear to enter the data, but it doesn't take us long. We have, 3 or 4 coaches entering data. One key is I want the same coach entering the offensive formation. The coach who does it for this game is going to do it for the next game and the next game, because I want it to be our terminology and I want it to be consistent. Then we're going to have another coach that's going to enter the strength, another coach that's going to enter backfield set, another coach that's going to enter play and strong and weak, or might be the same coach entering all that. All right. But we need that data to be consistent. If one week you call slot trip sniffer, trip slot sniffer, you're going to end up with 2 names for the same formation. It's going to throw your data off. So you've got to have consistent data. Once you get done entering the data in the video program, you can click export to Excel. So you're going to, and it's 1 click, boom, the data downloads. So you're going to pull that data up. And this is what I've done. This is one of the programs that I'm working with. And we've pulled that data up. And now what are we going to do? I'm going to go to the last column and I'm going to add a column FREQ for frequency, a column for full call, and another column for frequency. All right. Now, for this full call column, I need to combine formation, motion, strength, backfield, play, and strong or weak. I don't want to type all that in. Excel has a formula. I push equal sign. I start typing CON, and I'm going to select concatenate. This combines columns. So I'm going to start with my formation. I look, it's K. Yours may be different. Mine's K. So I type K2. I push comma. Now, if I don't put a space in, all this data is going to be jammed together. I want a space. Here's how you do it. I'm going to hit quotation mark, space, quotation mark, comma. So I've got K2 and then a space. Then I'm not going to do motion because they don't have any motion. I'm going to go to strength, N2, comma, and it highlights to let me know. And then I'm going to go quotation, space, quotation, comma. That adds my next space. Then I'm going to go O2. It highlights it, comma, quotation, space, comma. Okay, quotation, space, quotation, comma. P2, all right, follow the process, add my space, and then Q2, close parentheses. I check, yep, it looks like all those columns are highlighted. I hit enter, and it's combined. Now, I don't have to retype that for every cell. All I do is highlight the cell, grab that little green box, and I pull it down. And now it's going to populate all of these for me. All right, and I'm going to show you this. This process early on will take you, to do what we're doing today, will take you 30 minutes. Once you get good, it'll take you 10. All right, we're not going to spend 30 today. I've got some stuff already populated. I want to show you how to do this. For frequency, equal, count, and then I'm going to pick count if. Count if. It's going to ask me for the range. Well, I want my full call range. I want to know how many times they called each of these individual play calls, comma, and then I'm going to go S2 because I'm in column S and my top play is row 2. Hit enter. They ran that 2 times. Highlight it, grab that box, drag it down. All right, it's going to fill it in. So now it fills in how many times each of those were called. All right. Now, if it jacks it up, I'm going to hit this little drop down. I'm going to make sure it says copy. All right, it does. So it's copying that formula into all these cells and populating. I'm going to do the same thing here for play, for offensive play. Equal count, pick count if. Offensive play is P. So I highlight that whole column, comma, and then I'm going to do P2 again. Hit enter. And they called T-Dart 26 times. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to pull it down. There we go. All right, that's simple. Now, I hit the plus sign, and I'm going to create Big 12 calls. I'm going to create a new sheet. I'm going to name it Big 12 calls. I'm going to name another one Big 12 concepts. So we're going to go to Big 12 calls. And what I've done, I'm going to copy and paste full call and the full call frequency. So I'm going to highlight those. I'm going to hit Command C on a Mac, Control C on a PC. I'm going to go over to Big 12 calls. I'm going to hit Command C or Command V, Control V to paste. And I've got them here. Now, I'm going to highlight the cells, go to filter and sort, and I'm going to check the filter box. What does this allow me to do? It allows me to sort this data. So I've sorted this by their most frequent play calls to least frequent. All right. And then I start filling this in. Now, I said most teams, you're going to get 8 to 14 calls to give you all the information. Not in this case. This team uses a lot of window dressing, a lot of formations, a lot of little adjustments. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this data to fill in our scripts. All right. So I'm going to go into our practice scripts and I'm going to fill this in. So if I know they ran this formation and play strong 18 times, I'm scripting that and we're going to have a card. All right. And that's going to be, might be number 1, might be number 3. All right. So I'm going to add that in to my scripts and I'm going to go to the next one, add that in, then the next one, then the next one. And we're going to focus on the top of the list. Now, sometimes, and I'm going to show you one here. This is another team I worked with. We had 11 play calls. This is a 2-game breakdown. All right, 2 games, 11 play calls made up 85% of their offense. So I'm going through and filling in the inside run script right off of this. I'm filling in our 7-on-7 script. We're going to have a lot of bubble in 7-on-7. All right. And I'm getting their main things scripted. These things are going to be repeated in our inside run, 7-on-7 team script, in like our 3-on-2 pass and group 2-on-2 pass, and where we're working our pass drops and things like that. Then we're going to focus on those pass concepts that they run most. And then that stuff that may not get scripted, that stuff they ran one time, well, that we're going to cover in a group period. All right. So that shows you how with one team we were able to pull all this data up. And this is what happens a lot with teams that maybe reuse, 5 or 6 formations. It's when we get to the teams that use 15 or 20 or 30 formations by the time they get to you and they're constantly adding that window dressing, that the Big 12 may not add up. So what do we do then? I'm going to go to the playlist. Now I'm going to take play type. All right. Then I'm going to hit command. I'm going to hit offensive play and I'm going to hit frequency. It'd be control on a PC. I'm on a Mac. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to go to Big 12 concepts. And this is going to blow your mind. And I'm going to paste it. I'm going to do the same deal where I'm going to highlight these, click, and check the filter box. All right. So now I've sorted these by frequency. You can see this is that same team that on the Big 12 calls, remember, we're at 12 calls and we're at 40% of their offense. All right. Well, we can break them down really easily. So now I go through and I see that they ran inside zone 52 times, T inside zone. All right, 52 times. I take 52 divided by 251 because that's how many plays we have on here. 251. All right, we have 252 rows, but we have a header. So 251 plays. Do a little math, we get 21%. Next one, T dart, 26 times. That gives us 10%. Next one, T inside zone kick. The T is the ball carrier. 21 times, that's 8%, and so on. And I just copy and paste, put that data in. All right. You can see that with 15 plays, who's getting the ball and what the play is, and with the tag, we get 80% of their offense. Now, this is a team that's about 79.5% run and about 20.5% pass. All right. Now you can see that we have inside zone and inside zone kick. They're blocked the exact same way. The kick, they're just bringing the sniffer across to kick the read key. Counter, they block Q counter and T counter the exact same way. They block outside zone the exact same way. All right. So what I do, and this is why I love this filter, is if I only want to see the inside zones, I can pull just the inside zones. And now when I add all those together, we have 79 of them, which makes up 43% of their offense. What do we need to defend? Inside zone. Counter, 41 times, 16%. Dart, 26 times. Outside zone, 26 times. That makes up 79% of their offense. I go over to the pass game, and what do I see? Well, when I look at their pass game, their top 4 passes are play action, 4 verticals, 90. All right. Fast screen off the run. How do I know that? Well, if I switch this and go play type pass, all right, play type pass, you're going to see some run plays pop up. Oh, they threw the ball on a run. Well, that lets me know, and it's not tagged. That lets me know that they threw a pre-snap RPO. All right. I'm going to go back to select all. All right. So then we've got drop back smash 7 times. PAP snag 5 times. All right. Now I come over here. They also had a couple drop back 90s. So when I add those together, the drop back with the PAP, that gives me 18, 7% of their offense. Fast screens, they had a couple that they didn't throw off runs. They called them and cut blocked. 15 total. That's 6%. Smash. So we had drop back smash. They also had sprint out smash. 13 total smash plays. That's 5%. Snag. 5 times, 2%, that's 20%. This is 99% of their offense. All right. So we have now taken and broken down their offense into these 8 things that we have to defend. That helps us be able to target exactly what it is that we're going to need to practice throughout the course of the week. But when we build our scripts, I need the play call. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these top 12 things. Some weeks, like if it's this one I showed you, I would go ahead and take the whole Big 12, and I'm going to copy and paste those. Let me pull this up here. Let me pull up my call sheet. I would paste those into, let me pull the right thing up, into the Big 12. And I keep this on my call sheet. All right. I now know what it is that they're going to do. And then we can script our best play calls accordingly. When I build our practice script, I'm going to go into the Big 12 calls, and I'm going to now script these calls into our practice week. All right. I'm going to script those calls in, and then we're going to have our cards match up in order. So whoever's running our scout team can just flip to the next play. So that's how we come up with the Big 12. Now, I'm going to show you one other thing about this filter and sort that's pretty cool. So since we've got our filter set up, and I'm going to get all these columns in here, get everything filtered. All right. Now, let's say I want to see, this is something I do every week. I'm going to click their plays descending. So it groups all their plays together. And I'm going through and looking at this, and I see that, well, they run, Z Razor, which is a tunnel screen to the Z. They run that week. And they run it from 2x2. All right. They run Z outside zone from split backs. All right. And they only run it week. They run T screen weak. So all their screen game is weak. Power read strong. Outside zone strong. Inside zone strong. Look at that. Inside zone. Oh, when do they run inside zone weak? Ace tray, ace tray, ace tray. That's when they run. So if they get an ace tray, they'll run inside zone weak. Everything else, it's going to be strong. All right. And I can go down all their plays and see dart strong. Now, not everybody's like this. They run counter weak. Not everybody's going to be this tendency oriented, but where it's 100%, but you're going to get a really good picture. So we know we've got to defend inside zone and outside zone strong. We've got to defend counter weak. All right. We've got to defend screens weak, and they're not a big screen team. So this gives us a way to look at that data. So again, you get good data in Huddle, export your data, concatenate to combine the columns, and then use count if to get your frequency, sort it, and now you've got your Big 12 concepts. I do this every single week. All right. And then we also get our Big 12 to let us know what are those 12, 8 to 14 really play calls. Now I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind a little bit. A few years ago, met up with a guy named Danny Davis. It's been a while now. It's been a lot of years. Danny was a field artillery officer and went to West Point. I was recruited to play football there. Started taking military intelligence used for strategic battlefield planning and wanted to use it for football. So he came up with recon football. He let us try it out while he was perfecting it. It was unbelievable. I loved it as an OC. Our defensive staff loved it. Here's an example. You can see, upload your data into recon and look at this. I know exactly what this team is going to run. It kind of gives you the same stuff, a little bit different, gives you, but you can dig deep into the weeds now. You can see what concepts this team runs, what their run pass ratio is based on down distance and field zone. Look at this team. They are a strong side run team. All right. They are strong side run. If I wanted to click on play, data is going to populate. If I click on lead, look what happens. All right. If I click on lead, I see it's strong side. All right. Strong side, not as much weak. If I click on quick pitch, all right, what's it going to show me? That it's a field call. All right. It's a strong field call. If I click on counter, what do I get? It's a weak boundary call. All right. So I start to know what they're going to call. I know when they're going to call it. All right. And that's recon football. And if you're interested in that, it is amazing. I used it for self-scout as an OC, and I used a couple of these deals, blitz game and defensive play calls, to be able to know what to call when. So it's really, really a cool deal. I hope this helped you out with how to come up with the Big 12, how to target your game planning to be able to be more specific and be able to stop what you need to stop. Again, make sure you like this video, subscribe, share it with people so that you can help other coaches. That's what I really want to do. If there's anything I can do to help you out as you go through your season, please let me know. Check out my blog, coachvint.blogspot.com, and check out those resources. If you are interested in my call sheet, practice and practice planning stuff, all of my game, I have my whole defensive game planning resource available. There's a link down below. You can click that. Everything's editable and customizable. It's an instant download once you get it. Really cool stuff. Let me know if there's anything I can do. I wish you the best as you go through your season.